Greetings, Taku Faithful. Thank you for joining us again this week. Once again, it's Larry Williams, OAW Commander-in-Chief.
And Bryce Duncan.
And we're here to bring you all yet again another Top 5 video segment right here on Otaku Assemble Weekly. And as always, we're here to bring you the latest in this week's Top 5 video segment. Finally got my man Bryce Duncan back on the scene. And,
hey everybody.
And we're here to bring you all our Top 5 favorite television shows.
That's right.
That's right. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to take turns. We're going to go back and forth. Both me and Bryce got our list, and we're just going to give you all our thoughts on our top 5 favorite television series. Now, granted, well, yeah, this is I guess this would be television period, huh?
Yeah.
My list is all live action TV shows.
Yes.
But anyway, we'll get to that when we get there. So.
Right.
Starting things off, I'm gonna go ahead and give my top 5. My top 5 favorite television series. The number 5 is actually Seventh Heaven, the WB original series that started back in '96, and it pretty much tells the life and times of the Camden family, which is I guess you could say your typical American family, but the show does have Christian tones, Reverend Camden, the father figure, he's a pastor and whatnot, Protestant pastor, and it's pretty much a show where it's full of life lessons and things of that nature, learning about the family and the kids and seeing what they go through and things like that. I grew up on the series. I love watching it. I'll rerun the hell out of it, and so that's why it's one of my favorite series.
Cool, man. Yeah, my thoughts on that. I didn't really grow up watching that. I've only seen it occasionally, but from what I've seen, I like it, and I like Jessica Biel.
That
ass.
Yeah, yes, actually, yeah. That's how Jessica Biel got to start.
Yeah,
was on that show.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. But okay, so I go.
Yeah. Okay. What's your top 5?
Oh, okay.
Or your number 5?
Number 5 is Curb Your Enthusiasm, from the creator of Seinfeld, Larry David. It's basically Larry David and his wife Cheryl, kind of shot like a Christopher Guest type film, a mockumentary type thing. They schmooze and mingle with LA celebrities and culture, and it kind of satirizes how goofy and whatnot they can be. And I really like Larry David. He's kind of, just this guy who, it seems like sometimes events conspire against him when he doesn't do anything, or he says something and he's usually right about it, but he just kind of steps over that social line of what's appropriate, whether he's cutting the hair off little girls' Chinese expensive dolls, or he's accidentally getting adult pornographic cakes for children's birthday parties, or he's trying to get Jeff's big black ass porn collection. He's divorced his wife, and then his wife catches Larry, who she refers to as the four-eyed fuck. You four-eyed fuck, what the fuck are you doing? I just find the show funny. I personally like it a little better than Seinfeld. Blasphemy probably to some of you, but I like it. It's pretty enjoyable.
Right. Yeah, I've only seen a couple of episodes of Curb Your Enthusiasm, but I thought it actually was pretty funny. Yeah. Never was a big fan of Seinfeld, but Larry David himself is funny on camera. He has a presence on camera that is just hilarious. Oh,
and I particularly like the episode where they help the blind guy move all of his stuff around.
Yeah.
He makes him move all of his stuff around his apartment. It's hilarious. Go check it out on YouTube.
So my number 4 favorite TV series is Supernatural. Once again, another WB/CW television series. Oh, don't worry, my list is chock full of them. Well, I grew up watching the WB, man.
That's right, man.
So I mean, that's my favorite basic television channel.
Eric Kripke.
But yeah, Supernatural came out in 2005, right before the first season aired during the WB's final season before they switched to the CW, and that's Eric Kripke's creation. And pretty much the gist of that series is it follows the Winchester brothers, pretty much through their quests, their journeys, hunting supernatural creatures and whatnot. And I mean, the story goes, from something as simple as the search for Dad, to the hunt for the yellow-eyed demon, to the quest to save Dean's soul, to preventing Lilith from unlocking the 66 seals to finally stopping the apocalypse. Now you'll notice I gave you pretty much the synopsis of the first 5 seasons, because after season 5, I'm done.
Right.
I'm done. I feel like the series should have ended after season 5. That's where Eric Kripke intended the series to end. Like, I'm done after season 5. So up to season 5, those first 5 seasons are top notch, and those are the ones on my favorite. I don't acknowledge the existence of the other seasons.
Yeah, and again, kind of like my thoughts on 7 have been kind of like his thoughts on Curb Your Enthusiasm. It's funny, we're friends, but we haven't watched a lot of each other's shows. Just kind of have an initial impression of it. Seems really cool. He's told me Larry's told me some about it. Seems pretty interesting and cool. And would like to check out more of it, at least from the first 5 seasons, from what he said. So can't say too much, but like it from the little that I've seen.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So what's your number 4?
My number 4 is classic from the 70s, All in the Family. Grumpy old man and grumpy old conservative man, Archie Bunker, and kind of his ditzy but still lovable wife, and they live together. And then you have Rob Reiner, who's Mike. He's the more liberal guy, and he's married to their daughter Gloria. And this show was really groundbreaking for its time. It tackles social issues, political issues. Archie Bunker, kind of like Larry David in a way, kind of politically incorrect, says some things he shouldn't say, that he probably shouldn't say. Says some things he probably shouldn't, but he's still probably mostly right. You might begrudgingly admit that he's right on most things. And just his back and forth with Mike, who he refers to as Meathead, their political and social differences, the older generation, the younger generation. Really good show that's ahead of its time. And in some ways similar to Curb Your Enthusiasm, although Curb Your Enthusiasm is a bit more whimsical in its humor, whereas All in the Family is more concise and streamlined into one continuous story as opposed to multiple stories. But that's where I like it. I just find it's really funny and poignant.
Right.
Yeah.
No, well, you know what? It's funny that you bring up All in the Family, though, because that's going to segue into my number 3, because Gloria from All in the Family
Sally Struthers.
She is a supporting character on my number 3 favorite show, which is Gilmore Girls. Once again, another WB/CW show. And I know a lot of my viewers are going to freak out. It's like, Gilmore Girls, what the fuck? No, but seriously, Gilmore Girls, pretty much the gist of that show is it pretty much follows the life of Lorelai Gilmore, who is, I guess you could say, more of the modern mom.
That's Lauren Graham.
Yeah, Lauren. Because when the show starts, she's 32 years old, but she has a 16-year-old daughter, and which I don't know if that was edgy back in 2000, 2001 when the show first came out, but it's much more common now. So pretty much it follows those 2 main characters, dual protagonists, and it follows Rory. I mean, the series itself follows Rory from sophomore year of high school to graduation of college.
And that's Alexis Bledel.
And so, like, yeah, and everything that goes on in their life within those that 7-year span. So the reason why I like it so much, the humor, classic screwball comedy. And the characters, there is only, I think, maybe one character on that show that I don't like. And technically speaking, it's not that I don't like the characters, I don't like what the character represents. So, I mean, it's one of those feel good shows I used to always watch coming up. I have reran the shit out of that show. I've seen every episode at least 10 times easily, at least. I just love it. I just love the show. I think it's a good show. Cool, man.
Yeah, and Gilmore Girls, I've only seen a little bit of it here and there. I check it out occasionally. Like Larry said, the little that I've seen, I like the screwball, machine gun kind of dialogue that you get from, Bringing Up Baby or His Girl Friday, both directed by Howard Hawks, one of my favorite directors. His Girl Friday, Cary Grant. Good stuff. And Alexis Bledel and Lauren Graham, very pretty.
Yes.
Particularly Alexis Bledel in Sin City. Anyway, I'm getting off topic, but yeah.
Getting off topic. Number 3.
So I like it. I haven't seen too much of it, but I like from what I've seen. So, My number 3, The Wire. David Simon's The Wire. It's the show that he co-created created after he did Homicide: Life on the Streets, the show on NBC. Wire takes place in Baltimore. It's about McNulty and Lieutenant Daniels and Sergeant Rawls and this BPD, and they're trying to take down drug dealers and building cases. And each season focuses on a different section of the city, be it the focuses on a different aspect of the city, be it the education system in the 4th season, the newspaper in the 5th season, the Boondocks in the 2nd season, whatever it may be. I really like the show. I'll put it in literary terms since I'm an English major. The city of Baltimore kind of takes on its own personality, a la Dickens's London or Dostoevsky's Moscow. Kind of, you cross that, say, with Kafka's mind-numbing bureaucracies that you get in like the trial and whatnot. Just all the red tape they have to go through to build all these cases. And you cross that with the wit and humor of Elmore Leonard, may he rest in peace. He died earlier this week. Yeah, it just kind of carves out, to use a phrase by one of the characters, Sergeant Rawls, it carves out its own, a very realistic portrayal of its own dark corner of the American experiment. It's just really gritty and very cool. I just really enjoy it, and one of HBO's best. So, and Michael K. Williams as Omar, one of the best characters in television history, along with Brother Musan, who I wish was on the show more, but.
Yeah,
so those are my thoughts.
And that's the one show that like people, especially some of my viewers, have been telling me for the longest time I need to get into.
Shit, you need to watch that show.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to it eventually. So okay, so that brings me to my number 2, which my number 2 should be no surprise to anybody who follows my channel or anybody who knows me. Smallville. Simple and plain. Another WB/CW series. Like I said, I grew up on that network.
So he's watched the WB far more than I have growing up now. Okay.
Yeah. But no, Smallville, I mean, anybody who's seen my Smallville unboxing video, anybody who saw my Smallville Season 1, Season 2, or Season 3 reviews, I mean, anyone who's watched any of my videos where I talked about Superman, Smallville was a monumental show for me growing up. The creme de la creme, man. I mean, well, it's topped only by one other show, which is my number 1, which I'll get to in a minute. But
for Superman purposes,
I mean, but to follow an iconic character like Superman, growing up 2 years older than what I was when the show premiered. So almost beat for beat, going through the same stuff that Superman had to go through growing up. I mean, that just left a lasting impression.
Yeah, and right now I'm actually kind of in the process of watching Smallville. I never really watched it, but I'm only really through the first few episodes of Season 1. But man, I mean, I like...
We're halfway through. No, we're almost done with Season 1.
Yeah, almost done with Season 1. No, I like Michael Rosenbaum as Lex. He's awesome. I like Clark being an older man, or being older, you know. Sure, it can be maybe a little angsty and whatnot.
Oh, it's full of angst.
But hell, I mean, but it's pretty realistic, and it's coming of age kind of teen drama. And the other thing that I really like about it is the music, because they used current music, and all these songs are like blasts from the past for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I'm liking it, and I like. John Schneider, who's Jonathan Kent? Yeah, I like him a lot. I'm really digging the show, and I can't wait to get more into it as it develops and progresses. So definitely has my thumbs up. So
all right, and what's your number 2?
Oh yeah, my number 2. Tough choice between this and The Wire. Mad Men. Got to go with Mad Men. Even its final season is coming up. I can't wait. It's about advertising agency on Madison Avenue in the 1960s. I'm a big 60s person, you know, like the Beatles, the Stones, the British Invasion groups, and whatnot. I'm into the music and whatnot. But yeah, Mad Men. Basically, what Mad Men does, one way I thought of describing it is it poses Christ's question in one of the Gospels, and I forget which Gospel, but what does it profit a man to gain the world but lose his soul?
Yep.
And all these characters, particularly Don Draper, that's the main character, but Roger, Sterling all these people, many of them are alcoholics, they're womanizers, for men that have everything, there's all this allure and glitz of the culture that they live in, but they're really, underneath, they're really sad and insecure, and they're despairing, just in their outlook on life, particularly Draper. He's a handsome, suave, debonair kind of guy, but he's really broken, and so yeah, it just kind of poses that question, and it shows kind of all these characters and their ups and downs and and it's just a hell of a show, and I can't wait for its final season. So that was a tough choice between that and The Wire, but I think I might like Mad Men just a little bit more. So go ahead, man.
All right, and so that's going to bring me to my number one, and my number one, like I said, the only other show that left such a strong impression on me growing up, other than Smallville, and that would be Boy Meets World. And I know a lot of people are going to be surprised because I don't really talk about Boy Meets World a lot on my channel, not nearly as much as I do some of the other series. But I mean, Boy Meets World, that show, the story of Corey Matthews, and it literally is coming of age in the purest sense. You see him from grade school all the way up to college, and I mean, throughout that show, I think that show had like 8 seasons, and everything they're able to tackle with Corey himself, with the
played by Ben Savage, who is the brother of Fred Savage from The Wonder Years, another good show.
Yeah, exactly. And in all honesty, it's more like our generation's Wonder Years. I mean, the stuff they're able to cover with that series, as far as like what it's like to be, a kid growing up, into a young man and stuff like that. I mean, dude, so that show, I mean, it's like I said, I tell people all the time, that show got me through middle school. Everything I learned about growing up that I didn't learn from my family or from my friends or from school itself, I learned from Boy Meets World.
Cool.
And it's just, I rewatch that shit to no end. I still to this day will be like, what's on TV? If Boy Meets World is on, I'm probably going to watch it over anything else.
Cool, man. Yeah, and Boy Meets World, not quite as familiar as you are with it, but I definitely like it. Good coming of age drama, like Smallville is, different type of thing, but really good show. Topanga, very pretty. Just like Christina Hendricks, another reason I like Mad Men, and Jessica Biel in Seventh Heaven. So
our top 5 favorites are full of good-looking women.
Yeah, that's right, man. No, Boy Meets World, good show from what I've seen of it, and I dig it. So my number one show, and it's an animated show,
actually. Before you even say it though,
go ahead.
Before you even say it though, not to cut you off,
go ahead.
But would you argue that it is a considerable compliment to Boy Meets World?
Yeah,
like the animated version almost.
Well, yes, because Larry, throughout his list, he's had coming of age stories, kind of teen dramas and stuff, and this definitely falls in that category. Some of you might be surprised, but my number one show that I picked because I watched it as a kid, and even now rewatching it as an adult, I still love it. My number one show is, drum roll please, Hey Arnold.
Hey Arnold.
Love that show. Probably the same for Larry with Boy Meets World. Truly does capture what it means to be a kid. Arnold's 9, 10 years old. It's about a group of New York kids growing up, and some of their episodes are very socially poignant. Particularly well, these aren't socially poignant, but like I call it, the Do the Right Thing episode where they
with the Jolly Ollie Man.
With the Jolly Ollie Man, where they flip the truck, or they have a reenactment of Orson Welles reading War of the Worlds in 1939. So they have literary and historical and film references in there that kind of go beyond your head as a kid, but then when you watch it as an adult, you're like, wow. And you and I were talking about this a month ago. It's funny. Both you and I relate to Helga a lot more. As an adult. Helga Pataki.
I don't know what it is, but like rewatching Hey Arnold as an adult, dude, I like Helga. She by far is like my favorite character on that series now.
Yeah, and just and with Arnold, you just get a boy who you know, he's really optimistic, but not naively so.
Well, I don't know, cause they actually have an episode on that.
Yeah.
They have a whole episode on that. On Arnold's like if he's overly idealistic and naive. There's rewatching it. There's multiple episodes that address that about Arnold.
Yeah, and he's challenged, and his best friend Gerald, you know, kind of challenges that at times, and.
But you know the thing I like though.
Kind of Arnold and Gerald, kind of like me and you, kind of.
Oh hell yeah! Oh hell yeah! But oh no, especially with Gerald and his little sister.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, that's me and Christy. Point for point, dude.
Oh, and I gotta say, I know Christmas is several months away, but I love
that Christmas episode.
The Christmas episode brings tears to my eyes.
Dude, that Christmas episode still holds up, man.
That
shit.
That is just as good as Charlie Brown. For me personally, you know, it does. It brings tears to my eyes. It's very heartfelt. So this Christmas, look it up on YouTube. Arnold Christmas.
Oh, they'll be playing it on Nicktoons.
Oh yeah, and on Nick.
I mean, on T-Nick.
On T-Nick.
They're gonna replay because they played it last Christmas.
Yeah.
But no, dude. But what I was gonna say is the thing I like so much about Hey Arnold that is actually absent in television nowadays. You remember when I say you had all these episodes where Arnold's idealism and his naivety is challenged a lot.
Yeah, by Helga and Gerald.
And a lot of things.
Uh-huh.
You know what makes that different than a lot of the shows nowadays?
What?
There was always a payoff.
Yeah.
Arnold was always rewarded for having that idealism.
Yeah.
And television shows now, even cartoons, they're so cynical right now.
Yeah, they are.
You don't get that type of shit in television no more, dude. They don't make cartoons like that no more.
Yeah, because usually with Arnold, you know, his optimism is challenged, but usually it seemed like almost always the grandpa would come in at the end and give him some, you know, sagely old man advice. I mean, maybe not always grandpa, maybe it was just grandma or Kakashka, or, you know, or Ernie, one of the other boarders, but, you know, there's always that, you know, rewarding Arnold for having faith and hope in people, but maybe, you know, tempering that slightly, you know, like, hey, hey, look, you know, I know you're disappointed, but, you know, this is kind of how the world is, but hang on to the hope that you have.
And he's always rewarded, whether it was with Grandpa. I mean, just from the top of my head, the episodes with Grandpa, with Kakashka, with Dino Spumoni, Stu Kid, Mickey K-Line, the Christmas episode with Mr. Wynn, the episodes with Gerald, episodes with Harold, episodes with Stinky. All he's always rewarded for doing the right thing.
Mickey K-Line voiced by Ron Perlman.
Ron Perlman, yeah,
Sons of Anarchy.
I know. Awesome.
Mickey K-Line, Mickey Mantle, and Al K-Line. If y'all didn't know that, anyway.
Anyway, yeah, we're overtime.
All right.
We're overtime. Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna wrap this up. That's gonna conclude this week's top 5. That's going to conclude this week's top 5 video segment. I want to thank you all for joining us again this week. In the comments below, leave your thoughts on some of the shows that we mentioned in this video, but also leave suggestions for next week's top 5 and thumb up the one you want to see.
And thanks for having me.
Not a problem. So, what to keep an eye out for later this weekend, we got Discussion of the Week coming up tomorrow, which we're actually going to record right after this. And then Advice Corner going to be uploaded. It's actually going to be uploaded this Sunday, because I'm doing it today. I got hung up because I didn't get a chance to do it before my work week this past week, but I'm going to do it today.
Your viewers understand. You're a busy man.
Oh, shit. You think I'm busy? Nah, dude.
Wow.
Shit. All right, so.
All right, guys.
So, that's going to do it for us here. This is Larry Williams, OAW Commander-in-Chief.
And Bryce Duncan.
Signing off, and until next time, peace.
Peace.